Next delivery to the plate is going to be a little bit high as the count goes to 2-1 on Route. Route on the season, batting .231 on 3 of 13. Does have a couple of RBIs to his credit, though, and has scored 3 runs. Next pitch is ticking on the inside part of the plate, evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right now, the wind blowing out towards left field, but not enough to where it may have an effect on a ball in the air, I don't think. Break even to the plate is going to be tip foul into the mitt of the catcher, Connor Kilpla, for strike 3. So Kellyan's Pizza strikeout delivered by Austin Nichols. 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the first brings Leo Brown to the plate. Brown catching today for Scott High School. Over at third base, Brian Vaughn sneaking in on the infield grass. The first pitch is a little bit high for ball 1. So we said Connor Kilpel is behind the plate. Corey Vaughn is at first with Harris at second. McElvain short. Brian Vaughn over at third. So the next pitch is slammed into center field, but Gunnar Cole's there to bring it in for out number 2. So quickly 2 up and 2 down. Jay Sean Lewis is in left with Cameron White out in right field. Dylan Ninos to the plate now. He's playing first base today for Scott.
Now batting, number 20, Dylan Ninos.
Left-handed batter, wears the number 20 on the back of his jersey. As Nichols gets the sign from Kilpla. And the pitch is going to be a little inside for ball 1. Ninos on the season, batting .261. On 6 of 23, he has a double, a homer. The only homer hit by Scott this year. He's also driven in 4. Here's a bouncer to the right side, but there to scoop it up is Harris. His throw to first is in time, and the Scott Eagles go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the first as we head to the bottom half of the initial frame. Your score, Scott nothing and Harrison County coming to bat. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, the visiting Eagles go down in order 1-2-3 in the top half of the first inning. Now let's see what our Thoroughbreds can do here in the bottom half of the first frame. Leading off will be Gunnar Cole. He's playing out in center field. Cliffy McElvain playing at shortstop. He'll bat second. The third place hitter, Elijah Harris, who's at second. In the cleanup spot, Cameron White. He's playing right field. Batting fifth will be Corey Vaughn at first. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Austin Nichols. In the seventh spot, the left fielder, Jay Sean Lewis. He'll be followed by Braxton Grubb, who's DHing. Batting for the third baseman, Brian Vaughn. And rounding out the batting order today for the Thoroughbreds will be the catcher, Connor Kilpula. So once again for the Breds, Cole, McElvain, Harris, White, Corey Vaughn, Nichols, Lewis, Grubb, and Kilpula. Defensively for Scott, Leo Brown is behind the plate with Dylan Ninos at first and Joel Terry at second. Blaze Hewitt's over at third with Caden Rout at short. And left to right in the outfield, Troy Grubb, Grant Profit, and Michael Moore, all backing up the pitching of Casey Hilbert. Hilbert on the season, making his fourth appearance, his third start. He's thrown 11 innings, given up 18 hits, but only walked 5 while striking out 3. He's given up 16 runs, 11 of which have been earned. Now making an ERA of 7.00. Here's a bunt attempt by Cole to the third base side, but scooping it up will be Hilbert. He'll fire on to first base to retire Cole for out number 1. So one pitch, 1 up and 1 down here in the bottom of the first will bring Cliffy McElvain to the plate. McIlvain on the season. Find him here. Batting .273 on 3 of 11. Has yet to get an extra base hit, but does have a couple of RBIs and is scoring 3 runs. So the first pitch is out of the strike zone for ball 1. The wind by Hilbert, and the pitch is an eye-high fastball that McIlvain goes chasing after, evening up the count at 1-1. Steps back into the box quickly. Hilbert working very quickly. The 1-1 is a chopper to the left side, charging hard to third baseman Hewitt, and he'll not have a play. So we'll give McIlvain an infield single, putting a thoroughbred on first with 1 out, and bringing Elijah Harris to the plate.
Now batting, number 5, Elijah Harris.
Harris playing out second base today for the Breds. Elijah's batting .154 on 2 out of 13, but he leads the team in bases on balls with 5, and also is second on the team in being hit by a pitch. That's happened 3 times, leading to an on-base percentage of .476. Here's a throw to first, but diving back into the bag in time was McIlvain. Cliffy has not stolen a base this year yet. Harris stands in there. Over at third, Blaze Hewitt right at the cut of the infield grass. Here's a pop-up to the left side that goes between the pitcher and the third baseman. So bunt attempt that was hoped for a sacrifice goes awry, but it goes awry in a good way. And that Harris reaches first. Now runners on first and second for the Thoroughbreds for Cameron White. So sometimes good things happen even when they're not executed properly. Cameron White, the right fielder at the plate. Over at first base, Dylan Nino set to charge in. So first pitch is delivered, and it's right across the knees for a strike. White looked like he was squaring to bunt, but then brought the bat back when he thought the pitch was going to be out of the strike zone, but Hilbert's pitch was right down the middle. We'll look at White's numbers after this next delivery to the plate, which is going to be inside and low, evening up the count at 1-1. Cameron on the year, batting .250 on 4 out of 16. Has a double and 3 RBIs. He's also scored 4 runs. Walked a couple of times. Here's a batted ball through the hole on the right side of the infield. Charging up hard is McIlvain, but he'll stick around at third base. Now the ball gets away from the catcher, but not far enough away for any advancement. But with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, the bases are loaded with Thoroughbreds for Corey Vaughn.
Now batting, number 44, Corey Vaughn.
Vaughn playing over at first base today. Batting a team leading .412 on the year. Also leads the team in on-base percentage at .565. 7 out of 17 on the year. 4 RBIs to his credit. And ducks on the pond. First delivery to him from Hilbert is down low for a ball. So Hilbert having his difficulties here in the bottom of the first. Of course, as we said, has a lofty 7.00 ERA. Corner infielders in, middle infielders about halfway. As Hilbert's next delivery is outside and low. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Vaughn. Scott 2-6 on the year, Harrison 4-2. The only 2 wins for Scott have come against Covington Holy Cross and Bishop Brossart. His next pitch is at the knees for a strike. 2-1 now, the count to Vaughn. McIlvain at third, Harris at second, Cameron White over at first. With 1 out. 2-1 is going to hit him up. The home plate umpire says that Vaughn leaned into the pitch, so he does not get the free pass on down to first base. Count goes to 3-1. Coach arguing with the home plate umpire, and I'll agree with Coach. That batter's box is Corey's. As long as he's in that box, anything goes. Bases loaded, 3-1 the count. on Cameron White, or Corey Vaughn, excuse me, Corey Vaughn. Coach going back to the third base coaching box, and now Vaughn awaits the 3-1 from Hilbert. And it's going to be on the outside part of the plate, loading up the count at 3-2. Vaughn this year 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position. A couple of RBIs, so the good man to have at the plate. Now steps in with a full count on him. First time this year he's batted with the bases loaded. Here's a pop fly into shallow right. Michael Moore circles around it. McIlvain tags at third. The throw to the plate is going to be dropped by the catcher. So McIlvain scores the first run of the game, put Harrison County up 1-0, an RBI for Corey Vaughn. That'll be his 5th RBI of the season.
Now batting number 14, Austin Nichols.
On the throw to the plate, Harris moved to third and White moved on to second base. Austin Nichols, the pitcher at the plate, a chance to help himself out here with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Nichols on the season 0 for 1 with an RBI. First pitch is bounced foul at the plate as it hit off of Nichols as he was still in the batter's box. Count 0-1. Well, you probably know about Snappy's Beast Pizza, but don't forget to try their calzones and sandwiches too. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Thank you, Ryan. The 0-1 is a little pop-up on the left side of the infield. Route the shortstop calls for it, and he'll bring it in for out number 3. But a run does come across the plate for the Thoroughbreds on the sacrifice fly by Corey Vaughn. There were 3 base hits and 2 men left aboard. So as we head now to the top of the second-year score, Harrison County 1 and Scott 0. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, Harrison County plates a run in the bottom of the first. Now here in the top of the second for Scott, Logan Wehoff, Michael Moore, and Joel Terry. Coming up for the Eagles, Wehoff, the DH today, batting for the pitcher Casey Hilbert. Wehoff, a big kid, listed 5'6". He's a bit taller than 5'6". First delivery to him is tip foul into the mid of Kilpula for strike 1. Let's see, Wehoff's numbers on the year, batting a solid .375 on 6 out of 16. Has a couple of doubles and 4 RBIs. He's only scored a run. This next pitch is fouled off to the right side. Quickly, Wehoff in the hole, 0-2. Wehoff, a junior for this Eagle team. Nichols peers in to get the sign from Kilpula. And the 0-2 is going to be a bit low. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count to Wehoff. Leadoff batter here in the top of the second. Chokes up on the bat handle about a half an inch. As Nichols' 1-2 delivery stays up high. That one got away. Evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the first game of hopefully couple here today, but we shall see. The wind and the break-even pitch is smoked to the left side. Jay-Sean Lewis chasing after it, and he'll run out of real estate as that ball is over the fence. So the first home run of the season connected on by Wehoff ties the score at 1-1. That ball didn't take any time at all getting out of here. Let's see if they keep how many home runs pitchers have on the stat sheet. So 1-1 for Michael Moore.
Now batting, number 8, Michael Moore.
Moore playing out in right field today for Scott High School. He is batting .211 this year on 4 of 19, but does have 3 RBIs. His first pitch is high and inside for ball 1. Moore stems back into the batter's box, a senior on this year's team. Next pitch from Nichols is going to stay up high again. This count goes to 2-0. Nobody out here in the top of the second. 1-1 your score. Brad's getting a run in the bottom of the first, and that solo shot by Wehoff tying it up here in the top of the second as the next pitch is high and inside for ball 3. Nichols has not walked a batter this year in 4 2/3 innings. 3-0 is at the knees as Moore was taking all the way, running the count to 3-1. Center fielder Gunnar Cole shading the batter a bit to go into the gap as the 3-1 is at the knees again. That'll load up the count at 3-2, and Moore is not too happy about that strike call there. Too bad. Nichols wheels and fires the payoff pitch to the plate. It's going to be a liner past the second baseman Harris and into center field for a base hit. So the single by Moore brings Joel Terry to the plate. He's playing second base today. Was the pitcher of record last night and lost to Dixie Heights.
Now batting, number 12, Joel Terry.
Terry also a senior. Go over his stats here after this first delivery to him. At first base, Corey Vaughn holding the runner on. First pitch is down low for a ball to Terry. Terry on the season, batting .214 on 3 out of 14. Has no extra base hits, no RBIs, has scored 3 runs, however. Now levels the bat at the plate. Glancing over to first base is Nichols at Moore, who just did pick up that base on balls. Here he goes. The pitch is going to be tipped foul into the glove, into the mitt of Kilpula for a strike. So count goes to 1-1. Down to second base went Moore on a stolen base. For Michael Moore, his first steal of the year. Now the pitch gets away from Kilpula, and on down to third base will go Moore. This count goes to 2-1. Call that one a wild pitch. So the tie-breaking run just 90 feet away. A 2-1 count on Terry. Infield draws in as the next pitch is popped up on the first base side in foul territory. Corey Vaughn waiting for it and will bring it in for out number 1. They'll bring Grant Profit to the plate. Profit playing in center field today.
Now batting, number 3, Grant Profit.
Basketball fans may remember Grant Profit as a basketball player. It was the leading scorer, in fact, averaging over 18 points per game for the Eagles basketball team this past winter. First pitch is fouled out of play for strike 1. Profit also a senior. Infield still in with that runner at third and 1 out. 1-1 your score here in the top of the second. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play to the right side. Count goes to 0-2. Get an insurance agent that gets you covered like an All-American center fielder. That's Dan Furnish here in Harrison County. Call 234-4514 to talk to Dan. Nichols Peers in to get the sign from Kilpula. Now takes a look at Moore over at third, and the next pitch is outside and low. Nice stop by Kilpula to keep the ball in front of him. And Moore at third as the count goes to 1-2 on Profit. Outfield playing fairly shallow for Profit. So the pitch is going to be high and inside, and that evens up the count at 2-2. Profit on the year, batting .227 on 5 out of 22. Does have 4 RBIs to his credit, which is co-leader on the team. Swing and a miss, though, at the next delivery. Pitch appeared to be a bit outside and maybe a bit low as well. There's another Killian's Pizza strikeout delivered by Austin Nichols, and now 2 outs in the inning for Troy Grubb. Grubb, the left fielder. Infield moves back now if there's 2 outs. First pitch swinging and missing for strike 1 is Grubb. Grubb on the year, batting .200, 1 out of 5. Does have a double, though. No RBIs. Next pitch is swung on and missed. A pitch that was very low. And quickly, Grubb is in the hole 0-2. A leadoff homer in the inning by Logan Wehoff has tied the score at 1. Now Nichols trying to get out of any more trouble. Next pitch is swung on and missed for another Killian's Pizza strikeout to end the inning. That home run, the only run in the inning for Scott. It's one of 2 base hits. There were no errors, and the runner was stranded at third. So as we head now to the bottom of the second, your score, Harrison County 1 and Scott High School likewise. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, we're heading to the bottom half of the second inning. Jay Sean Lewis, Braxton Grubb, and Connor Kilpula will be coming up for the Breads.
33, Jay Sean Lewis.
Jay Sean playing out in left field. We'll look at his numbers after this first delivery to him from Casey Hilbert. It's going to stay up high for ball 1. Lewis on the season, batting .250, 2 out of 8. Has 4 RBIs, which is co-leader on the team in that category. Next pitch is taken up high. Jay Sean also has tripled this season. Left-hander stands in and awaits the 2-0 delivery to him from Hilbert. Here it comes, and it's going to be taken at the knees for a strike. 2-1 now the count to Lewis. Jay Sean, a freshman. Waits the next delivery turn from Hilbert. And the 2-1 is fouled off to the left side, evening up the count at 2-2. Killian's Pizza serving up great food, just like the Breads and Phillies are serving up strikeouts. Call 298-2048 to order for pickup or delivery right now. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So 1 up and 1 down here in the home second. Now bring Braxton Grubb to the plate. Grubb DHing for the third baseman, Brian Vaughn.
Now batting number 9, Braxton Grubb.
Grubb on the season, now batting .143 on 2 out of 14. Has a couple of RBIs. He's also tripled. First pitch is inside for ball 1. Sun trying to peek its way out from behind the clouds. Weather is coming, it's just a matter of when it will get here. Wind by Hilbert, and the 1-0 is a bouncer Off the third base bag and into left field. Good piece of hitting that time by Braxton Grubb to get on with one out. Looked at first like that the third baseman, Blaze Hewitt, was going to have a play, but then it caromed off the third base bag, and there was no play for Hewitt. Connor Kilpala at the plate, the catcher for the Thoroughbreds. Kilpala is 0 for 0 officially this year, but does have 3 walks in his 3 plate appearances. Over at first base, Nino's holding Grubb on as the first pitch to Kilpala is fouled off for strike 1. See, Braxton on the year has not attempted a stolen base. 1-1 your score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Kilpala at the plate. Here's a throw to first, but not in time. This is the 21st meeting between Harrison County and Scott High School. Harrison leads the series 11-9. 4-4 here at the Hilltop. Next pitch is taken for a strike. Here goes Grubb down to second. The throw goes into center field. Just now picking it up will be Grant Profit, the center fielder, so nowhere else for Grubb to go, but gets his first steal of the season. 0-1 the count on Kilpala. Or 0-2, excuse me, 0-2 the count on Kilpala. Good crowd on hand for today's game. Next pitch is low and outside. 1-2 now the count to Kilpala. Connor looks down to Coach Whitaker before stepping back in the box as down at second base, Grubb takes his lead. Hilbert takes a look at him, and the 1-2 is popped up in behind the plate and will sail out of play. So the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Last time these two teams got together was up at Taylor Mill a couple of years ago, a game that was won by the Eagles 8-5. The last time that Scott was here on the Hilltop was back in 2017. Harrison County won that meeting 6-5. Next pitch is up high, evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Didn't start playing Scott High School on a regular basis until the late 90s when they moved from the 9th region to the 10th. Here's a chopper to the left side, gloving it on a room service hop is Route. The shortstop fires over to first base to retire Kilpala. Staying at second base is Grubb, but there are now 2 outs in the inning, and we'll head back to the top of the order and Gunnar Cole. Gunnar bounced out to the mound on the first pitch he saw his first time up.
Number 30, Gunnar Cole.
Cole batting .368 on the year. Has a couple of doubles, which leads the team. Also 7 hits, which is co-leader on the team in that category. 4 runs and 3 RBIs. First pitch swinging again, a bouncer to the second baseman. Another nice hop. Terry has it. He'll fire over to first base for the 3rd out. No runs in the inning. There was 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. As we head now to the top of the 3rd, your score, Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. All righty, 2 innings are in the books here on the Hilltop in the Harris Memorial Hospital Baseball Invitational. Day 2. Blaze Hewitt, Caden Rout, and Leo Brown. That's 9, 1, and 2 coming to the plate for Scott. Your numbers through the first couple show the Eagles a run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Harrison a run on 4 hits, No errors. They've left 3 aboard as the first pitch is swung on and missed by Hewitt for strike 1. Let's see. Hewitt on the year batting 167 on 1 out of 6. Does have an RBI and a couple of runs scored. He's also walked 4 times. His next pitch is taken for a strike, but this time he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Hewitt playing over at third base, sophomore. Nichols working quickly, wheels and fires the 0-2. A smack into right field, but there to make the driving grab will be Cameron White. So a nice play by White on that dying Quail to the right side for out number 1. That'll take us back to the top of the order now, and Caden Rout.
Now batting number 16, Caden Rout.
Rout, a strikeout victim his first time up. Gunnar Cole will head back about 10, 12, 15 paces before Nichols fires the first pitch in, and it's going to be swung and missed for strike 1. Nichols has retired the last 4 batters in a row. Wheeling the bat around is Rout, the shortstop, as next pitch is going to be popped up on the left side of the field into shallow center field, where Cole is there to grab it for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down here in the third, which is being brought to you by Clinic Pharmacy, locally owned, so you can experience the best personalized care. Leo Brown at the plate. He had a fly ball out to center field his first time up. Catcher for the Eagles stands in, another sophomore. First pitch is inside, high, ball 1, either way. Several people have come down from Taylor Mill to watch their Eagles play this morning. The 1-0 is on the knees for a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on for Scott. 1-1 your score here in the top of the third inning. Nichols peering in to get the sign, fires the 1-1 to the plate. It's going to be too far inside. This count goes to 2-1. Well, the Phillies 5-2 on the year, losing last night down at Rockcastle 4-1. They're in action today up in Maysville as the next pitch is fouled off, evening up the count at 2-2. Christine's bunch playing Mason County as we speak. At 1 o'clock, they'll take on Rowell and then play Great Crossing at 4. So a 3-game set today for the Phillies up in Maysville. Wind and the break even is chopped foul to the left side. The count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next week, the Phillies will be playing on Thursday, because they'll take a few days off. They'll host Lexington Catholic. That game will be streamed on YouTube as the next pitch is lined into the glove of the shortstop, Cliffy McIlvain. Easy out there on that soft liner. So for the second time in the first 3 innings, Scott goes down 1-2-3. As we head now to the bottom half of the third inning, your score remains Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Brett's Baseball on WCYN Sports. Back here on the hilltop, we're heading to the bottom half of the third inning of a game, which is all knotted up at 1 apiece. Harrison County scoring their lone run in the bottom of the first on a sacrifice fly by Corey Vaughn. Meanwhile, Scott's run came on a leadoff homer by Logan Weehoff, starting off the second inning. Here in the bottom of the third, 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order for the Breds. Cliffy McIlvain, Elijah Harris, and Cameron White. All taking on the pitching of Casey Hilbert, the starter for Scott, now beginning his third inning of work. Breds will be back in action on Monday when we'll host Robertson County on a district game. That's at 5:15. On Tuesday, Fleming County will be coming to town for a 5:15 start. Take off Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll head to Carlisle to take on Nicholas. Here's a bouncer by McIlvain to the right side, a couple of hops to the second baseman Terry. Easy throw to first. One up and one down here in the home third. That'll bring Elijah Harris to the plate. Harris reached on an infield single his first time up.
Now batting, number 5, Elijah Harris.
Next Friday, the Breds will head to Winchester to take on Clark County. Harrison beat Clark in the first game of the year 5-3 here on the hilltop. Then next Saturday, we'll take a trip to Franklin County to take on the Flyers at 11 o'clock. First pitch to Elijah is a strike, 0-1 the count to the Breds second baseman. So a busy week upcoming for Harrison County. Next pitch is slapped to the right side, gloved by a nice play by Dylan Ninos. He will outrace Harris to the bag. That was a hot shot off the bat of Harris to the opposite side. But Ninos kept his cool, kept the ball in front of him, and got the out for out number 2.
Number 16, Cameron White.
Cameron White to the plate now. He singled, but got stranded at second base his first time up. Hilbert peers in to get the sign from his catcher, Leo Brown. And the pitch is up high for a ball. So next week, 5 games in 6 days. Hilbert's next delivery is going to bounce up there for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Cameron White. Clouds getting more overcast as time moves along. The wind and the 2-0 is way outside. I imagine with 2 outs and nobody on, Cameron will not be swinging at this next pitch. Looking for his third base on balls of the season. Hilbert's next delivery is ball 4. So a 2-out bases on balls given up to Cameron White, who reaches for the second time in the game, keeps the inning going for the Breds.
Now batting, number 44, Corey Vaughn.
Corey Vaughn up the plate now. He had a sacrifice fly back in the first, driving in the Harrison County run, which at the time put us up 1-0. Since then, Scott has tied the score. Now time called by Corey. Now steps back in over at first base. Ninos holding White on. Cameron this year has stolen a base. First pitch to the plate's taken for a strike. Vaughn taps the plate with his bat before stepping back in. And the pitch, here goes the runner. The pitch is inside and sliding in safely will be White as the ball is going to pop out of the glove of the second baseman Terry, who is covering. Count goes to 1-1 on Vaughn, but now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. White's second stolen base of the year. Vaughn on the season, 1 for 2 with an RBI with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Check of the runner by Hilbert. And the pitch is swung on and missed. 1-2 now the count to Vaughn. Vaughn on the season. Overall with runners in scoring position, 2 for 3. Here's a chopper to the left side, but a room service hop to the third baseman Hewitt. Fires across the diamond to retire Vaughn for out number 3. No runs, no hits. There were no errors, but there was 1 man left. We're heading to the top half of the 4th inning as your score remains Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County and Scott all knotted up at 1 through the first 3 innings. Scott, a run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Harrison, a run on 4 hits, no errors, they left 4. And coming up will be Dylan Ninos, Logan Wehoff, and Michael Moore for Scott, facing Austin Nichols, the starter for Harrison, beginning his 4th inning of work, which is being brought to you by Palmer Hampton Realty. Here's a shot to right field. This may not stay in the ballpark, and it is going to be gone. Oh, off the fence. Went about halfway up that fence before smacking the Eric Esberry placard out there. So a leadoff double for Dylan Ninos on the first pitch he sees in this inning. That ball hit to
Now batting, number 31, Logan Wehoff.
right center. Logan Wehoff, he went deep his first time up over the left field fence. From the stretch, Nichols checks back at second base, and the delivery is going to be low and outside for ball 1. Talking about Palmer Hampton sponsoring the 4th inning. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Call them today, and they will work for you. Recently had some dealings with Palmer Hampton, and they did a perfect job. Next pitch, the plate's up high. Count goes to 2-0 on Wehoff, who's DHing for the pitcher, Casey Hilbert. That home run he hit earlier in the game, his first, only the second by Scott as a team. Dylan Ninos also has a homer. Here's a ball that's tipped foul into the mitt of Kilpala, running the count to 2-1. Well, the tennis team took this past week off. They'll be back in action on Monday. They'll head to Winchester to take on Clark County. Nichols takes a look back at second at Ninos as the pitch is going to be tipped foul at the plate again, evening up the count on Wehoff at 2 balls and 2 strikes. New ball being delivered to the mound as that one bit Kilpala on the foul. Well, you probably know about Snappy's Beast Pizza, but don't forget to try their calzones and sandwiches too. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Thank you, Ryan. Back into the batter's box will go Wehoff. Outfield playing him fairly deep as the wind picking up towards left. Here's a shot to right, going back White, still going back now. He's got a beat on it, but the ball hits in front of him as the wind knocked it down. On over to third base will go Ninos, who had to wait to make sure that that ball did drop. But runners on the corners on a wind-aided single by Logan Wehoff. Still nobody out.
Now batting, number 8, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore to the plate now. He singled his first time up. Taps the plate, does number 8. Nichols takes a glance over at first base where Corey Vaughn is holding Wehoff on. Pitch is outside for ball. Scott trying to take their first lead of the day. 1-1 is your score right now, but the Eagles threatening with Ninos taking his lead at third. Next pitch is sliced foul and out of play to the right side, evening up the count at 1-1. Let's see, the track team, they'll be in action on Tuesday. You going to that, Ryan? At Paul Dunbar, an all-comers invitational. Here's a shot to the right side again. This one also will be out of play. So 1-2 now the count to Moore. It's a big pitch up coming for Nichols. We can just retire Moore and get that very important first out. Over at first, Wehoff takes his lead. Wehoff has not stolen a base this season, but still, you got to pay attention to him. Here's a foul ball once again out of play, so the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. Moore wheels the bat around as he chokes up on the bat handle about a half an inch. And the 1-2 is going to be fouled off again, so a couple of 2-strike foul balls by Moore have kept him alive in this plate appearance. Moore is senior. Listed at 5'6". He's closer to 6'5". Nichols trying to get himself out of trouble. The 1-2 once again is fouled off again. So 3 two-strike foul balls by Michael Moore as he battles Nichols here in the 4th inning. Center fielder Gunnar Cole playing the batter to go the opposite way just a shade. And the 1-2 once again is tipped foul into the mid of Kilpula for strike 3. There's another Killian's Pizza strikeout delivered by Nichols. That's his 4th of the day. So with 1 down, those runners still at first and third. Joel Terry to the plate. Terry popped out in foul territory to Corey Vaughn, the first baseman, his first time up. Infield stays back. Vaughn still holding the runner at first base on. First pitch to Terry is a fly ball into right field. Shallow right field. White catches it, tagging at third base is Ninos, but he will stay where he's at as White gets the ball back into the infield quickly. Now 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring Grant Profit back to the plate.
Now batting number 3, Grant Profit.
Profit struck out his first time up. Outfield stays shallow as it had before for the 7th place hitter in the batting order. Scores still knotted up at 1 apiece. First pitch is outside and low for ball 1. Number 3 wheels the bat around. As the next pitch is delivered, a chopper to the left side. Evens up the count at 1-1. I'm sure Profit still has a little basketball left in him. As the Eagles made it to the regional tournament before falling. So has only been back into baseball for a week or so. A look over at the runner on first base by Nichols, and the 1-1 to the plate is a bouncing ball to the left side. McIlvain has it. He'll go the short route and flips it to Harris, covering second for out number 3. So Scott threatens after they get the first 2 batters aboard, but cannot score. No runs, a couple of hits, no errors, 2 left. As we head now to the bottom half of the 4th inning, your score, Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Austin Nichols, Jay-Sean Lewis, and Braxton Grubb to face Casey Hilbert in this 1-1 game. 4th inning being brought to you by Palmer Hampton Realty. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Call them today and let them work for you. Nichols a pop up to short, his only other time to the plate. First pitch swinging this time, pops up foul and out of play behind us for strike 1. Get an insurance agent that gets you covered like an All-American center fielder. That's Dan Furnish here in Harrison County. Call 234-4514 to talk to Dan. Hilbert's next delivery is fouled off again as the count goes to 0-2. Leadoff batter for the Breds here in the 4th inning. 1-1 game. Shortstop Caden Rout trying to figure out where he needs to be as the next pitch is up high and inside for ball 1. Well, the girls' Sweet 16 going on in the semifinals this morning. Right now as we speak, Sacred Heart Academy taking on number 2 Anderson County. Next pitch is taken for a ball. Sacred Heart ranked 16th in the state. Then after that, third-ranked Marshall County takes on number 17 Henderson County. A couple of teams from the far west part of the state, regions 1 and 2. Here's a bouncer in the hole between short and third. So a leadoff single by Nichols gets things going for the Breds here in the bottom of the fourth. Now bring Jay-Sean Lewis back to the plate.
Number 33, Jay-Sean Lewis.
Jay-Sean, a strikeout victim his first time up. Left-hander stands in there over at first. Nichols being held on by Ninos. First pitch from Hilbert's outside and high for ball one. Championship game for the girls' Sweet 16 will be tonight at 8. Matching the winners of this morning's 2 semifinals. Go by the odds, it'll probably be number 2 Anderson County versus number 3 Marshall County. Rowell was the number 1 team, but they got knocked out in the regionals. Here's a shot foul to the left side now to play. This count evens up on Lewis at 1-1. Not sure about the crowds at the girls' games, but at the boys' Sweet 16 last week, it averaged about 3,600. Of course, there was restricted seating and social distancing and whatnot, but I think the top amount of people that could be there was like 5,000, and it only got to in the 4,000s 3 times. Here goes the runner. The pitch is down low, and there will not be a play for Brown. So a stolen base for Nichols. 2-1 the count on Lewis. Here's a pop fly into shallow left. Circling it is Grubb, and he will have it for out number 1. That'll bring Braxton Grubb back to plate. He singled his first time up.
Now batting number 9, Braxton Grubb.
Grubb on the season, 0 for 2 with a walk with runners in scoring position. But now we'll try to get a base hit that, if it can find a gap somewhere, should score Nichols from second. First pitch is slammed into center field. Profit going back at the base of the bank will haul it in for the out. Well, if the wind had been blowing crossways, that might have got out of here, but he hit it right to the teeth of that wind that's just lofting out towards left field for out number 2. Connor Kilpala scheduled to come to the plate, but looks like he's going to be taken down for a pinch hitter. Connor's grounded out to short his first time up. Let's see who will pop out of the dugout here to bat for Kilpala with a runner on second and 2 outs. 1-1 your score. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So while we wait, Lucas Harrington will bat for Kilpala.
Number 3, Lucas Harrington.
So pencil Lucas in here in the 4th. Harrington, a left-hander, will look at his numbers after this first delivery to him from Hilbert. That's going to bounce away for a wild pitch. Actually, it's going to hit the batter, Harrington. So good job, Lucas. That's the second time this season he's been hit by a pitch. So with runners now on first and second, we'll go back to the top of the order, and Gunnar Cole. Gunnar, a couple of ground outs in the game, once back to the mound. He's also ground out to second. Has only seen 2 pitches as he put bat on ball. The first pitch he saw both times from Hilbert. Cole looks down to Coach Whitaker for the sign before stepping in. Now he's in there and ready to go. Titan Maston running at first base for Harrington as the first pitch is swung through and missed for strike 1. Austin Nichols still down at second. The Breds trying to recapture the lead. They led early on 1-0, only to see Scott tied in the top of the second. Next pitch is pop foul and out of play, and quickly Gunnar in the hole, 0-2. Junior collects himself before stepping back in the batter's box as the runners take their leads. Hilbert takes a look back at second. The 0-2 is way outside, trying to get Gunner to chase a bad one, but Cole not biting as the count goes to 1-2. Out in left field, Trey Grubb right at the base of the bank. Other two outfielders playing straight away. And the 1-2 is a bouncing ball to the left side, backhanded by the shortstop route. He'll pitch it on to second base, but it will not be in. Nope, he kept on to the ball. So the infield single loads the bases with thoroughbreds for Cliffy McIlvain. Come on, Cliffy, ducks on the pond. McIlvain this season, with the bases loaded, is 0 for 1 with an RBI. First delivery to the plate is going to be just a bit outside. Brown tried to frame it, but the ball was indeed out of the strike zone. Walk is as good as a hit here, Cliffy. If it's not there, don't swing at it. The next pitch is going to stay high for ball 2. 2-0 the count to McIlvain. Now the catcher, Leo Brown, wants to have a little discussion along with head coach Kevin Goins to see what's going on with Mr. Hilbert out on the mound. Breds only got a single base runner on in both the second and third innings after scoring in the first, but here with 2 outs, Lucas Harrington was hit by a pitch and a infield single by Gunnar Cole. Now the conversation on the mound is over. Coach Goins will go back into the dugout, and Brown back behind the plate. 2-0 the count on McIlvain. Cliffy on the year with 2 RBIs. Solid lick here, could double that, and also give the Breds the lead back. Hilbert's 2-0 to the plate is fouled straight back. Cliffy just barely missed that one. Killian's Pizza serving up great food, just like the Breds and Phillies are serving up strikeouts. Call 298-2048 to order for pickup or delivery right now. The 2-1 is a fly ball into shallow right field. Going into the outfield is Joel Terry, the second baseman. He'll give way to the right fielder, Michael Moore, who will haul it in for out number 3. Breds threatened but cannot score. No runs. There were a couple of base hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. So as we head now to the top of the 5th, your score remains Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Back here at the Hilltop, we got a pitcher's duel going on between Austin Nichols of Harrison County and Casey Hilbert of Scott. 1-1 your score. Your numbers through the first 4 show the Eagles a run on 4 hits, no errors. They've left 3 runners stranded. Meanwhile, Harrison County a run on 6 hits, no errors. And with the bases being left loaded last inning, have now left 7 altogether. First pitch to leadoff batter Troy Grubb is down low for ball 1. And Grubb's only other plate appearance, he struck out. One of the 4 Ks picked up by Nichols today. Now conversation between the battery as Lucas Harrington has come on to go behind the plate for Kilpla as he batted for him last half inning. Nichols wheels and fires the next pitch. It's going to stay high. This count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Nichols pitching for the first time in 8 days. 2-0 is swung through and missed. A high fastball that Grubb went chasing after as the count goes to 2-1. Grubb, the 8th place batter in the order. He'll be followed by Blaze Hewitt, and then back to the top and Caden Rout. 2-1 is swung on and missed. This count goes even at 2-2. Harrison 4-2 coming in. Scott 2-6. The Eagles picking up a win on the road earlier this season. Next pitch is taken at the knees for strike 3. There's another Killian Speech's strikeout delivered by Austin Nichols. His 5th of the day, and the first time that a Eagle has gone down looking.
Number 18, Blaze Hewitt.
Blaze Hewitt now at the plate, the third baseman. He had a fly ball out to right field when he came to bat before. Keep watching the skies. It gets cloudier and cloudier. First pitch to Hewitt on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Nice pitch. Nichols rocking right along. The only bad pitch he's thrown ended up on the left field bank on the homer by Wehoff. Next pitch is swung through and missed again. It's Hewitt, the 9th place batter, unable to catch up with any of the pitches that Nichols has thrown so far. Waits the 0-2 delivery, and here it comes, and it's going to be popped up foul to the right side. Harrington, nope, just barely does not make the play as it's going to be caught by one of the players for Sayre. I believe that's Sayre. However, the count remains 0-2 with 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 5th. The wind and the pitch from Nichols is going to be fouled off out of play again. So a couple of 2-strike foul balls by Hewitt have kept him alive in this plate appearance. Well, the Reds won their 6th in a row last night. Had to go to extra innings to do so, but beat the Diamondbacks 6-5 in 10. Reds have now scored 63 runs in their first 6 games. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side, gloved by Brian Vaughn. Throws across the diamond to retire Blaze Hewitt for out number 2.
Number 16, Caden Rout.
Go back to the top of the order now, and Caden Rout, the shortstop. He's had a strikeout and a fly ball out to center field, so 0 for 2 on the early part of the game. Rout is a senior. Boy, if you relied on the heights that are listed on their roster, you'd think this is a bunch of midgets. They've got Rout listed at 5'5". Here's a batted ball foul and out of play to the right side for strike 1. Wind still blowing loftily out towards left field, but probably feels kind of comfortable. The 0-1 is fouled out of play to the right side again. So now Austin Nichols just 1 strike away from retiring the side in order for what would be the 3rd time of the ball game. Peers in to get the sign from Harrington. Wheels and fires the 0-2, and it's going to be slapped down the right field line. This could be trouble, and it's going to be barely foul by about 6 inches. It's a long way to run for Cameron White. Way too far down the line for Corey Vaughn. But it just drops harmlessly foul as the count remains 0-2. Rout steps back into the batter's box as Nichols once again will try to strike him out. And the 0-2 once again is a bouncing ball to the left side. A couple of hops to McIlvain. Throws on the run and retires Rout. So for the 3rd time in the ball game, Scott goes down 1-2-3. And as we head to the bottom of the 5th, your score is still Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to the Reds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, we're knotted up at 1 apiece, which has been the way it's been since the second inning when Logan Wehoff went deep to tie the score at 1 after Harrison had scored in the bottom of the first. Elijah Harris, Cameron White, and Corey Vaughn coming to the plate for the Brads here at the home fifth.
Now batting, number 5, Elijah Harris.
Harris, an infield single back in the first. He's also grounded out to the first baseman. Hilbert's first delivery to him is going to be right down Main Street for strike 1. Both teams have had their opportunities to take the lead. Harrison's left 7 runners stranded, while the Eagles have left 3 on board. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side. Should be an easy play for the second baseman, Terry, and it is for out number 1. They'll bring Cameron White back to the plate. He's reached both times he's come to the plate today, singling in the first and walking in the third. Also has a stolen base to his credit.
Now batting, number 16, Cameron White.
Looks down to Coach Whitaker before stepping into the batter's box. Hilbert gets the sign from his catcher, Leo Brown. And the pitch is going to be a fly ball into right field. Going back is the second baseman, Terry, and he will make the play in front of the right fielder, Moore. So quickly 2 up and 2 down in the 5th inning. Brings Corey Vaughn back to the plate.
Corey Vaughn.
Vaughn had a sacrifice fly way back in the first inning, which plated the only run that Harrison County has scored. He's also had a bouncer to third. Talked about the Reds earlier, winning last night, 6-5 and 10. They'll play at 8-10 tonight. Jeff Huffman going for the Reds against Riley Smith of the Diamondbacks. First pitch is fouled off for strike 1. Hoffman 1-0 on the early season at a 1.80 ERA. Riley Smith is replacing Caleb Smith in the rotation. He has no record in a 3.60 ERA with his first start tonight. Next pitch is outside. Evens up the count at 1-1. The wind and the next delivery is going to stay at knee level for a strike. So now Hilbert just 1 strike away from retiring the Brads in order for what would be the first time in the ball game. Wheels and fires the 1-2, a chopper foul to the left side. As the count remains 1-2. Sayre waiting in the wings. He'll take on Scott after this game is over. This next pitch is a bouncer past the mound. Shortstop Rout has it, throws to first. And for the first time in the ball game, the Brads go down 1-2-3. And so now as we head to the top of the 6th, your score, Harrison County 1 and Scott High School 1. You're listening to Brads Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the hilltop, we're heading to the 6th inning of a 1-1 game, a pitcher's duel between Austin Nichols of Harrison County and Casey Hilbert of Scott.
Leo Brown.
Leo Brown, Dylan Ninos, and Logan Wehoff, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th batters in the batting order coming up for Scott. Your numbers through 5 show the Eagles a run on 4 hits, no errors, 3 left. The Brads a run on 6 hits, no errors, 7 left aboard. 5th inning, both sides got their opponents out in order. First pitch to the plate to Brown is up high for ball one. Brown 0 for 2, a fly ball out to center. He's also had a soft liner to short. Nichols on the mound for his 6th inning of work, the starter for the Breds. He's rocking right along. Next pitch is outside, though, as the count goes to 2-0. Nichols has retired the last 6 Eagles in a row. The wind and the 2-0 is going to find its way across the outside part of the plate for a strike. 2-1 now, the count to Brown. Brown came into the game batting .250, but is 0 for 2, so that'll drop. Nichols' 2-1 is going to stay high. 3 balls and a strike. Well, Austin has not walked a batter this season, but now behind the count 3-1 to Brown. Next pitch by number 14 is going to be outside ball 4, so for the first time in the ball game, an Eagle gets on board by way of a base on balls. I'll bring the third place hitter, Dylan Ninos, to the plate. We'll also have a pinch runner at first. Ninos grounded out to second in the first. Also had a double leading off the 4th inning to right field, but was later stranded at third. Down at first base running is Nick Brown. Nick Brown running for Leo Brown with Ninos at the plate. Sneaking in at third base is Brian Vaughn. Just in case Ninos decides to lay one down. He smacks it to right field. Cameron White should be there, running on hard, makes the grab, throws to first, but not in time. But the first out of the inning is recorded on the fly ball out to right field. They'll bring Logan Wehoff back to the plate. He's 2 for 2. Homered for the only run of the game for Scott, leading off the second. Singled in the 4th. In fact, he's responsible for half the hits that Scott has got in the game. They have 4 altogether, and he has 2 of them. Ninos had a double, and Moore had a single. So all their hits coming from the 3rd, 4th, and 5th members of the batting order. His first pitch is taken for a strike by Wehoff. Wears number 31 on the back of his jersey. Over at first base, Corey Vaughn holding Nick Brown on. He's running for Leo Brown. Next pitch, the plate bounces up there. Nice stop by Harrington to keep the ball in front of him. However, the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. Stretched by Nichols, and the 1-1 is going to stay high. Here's a snap throw down to first, but not in time, as I think Nick Brown might have jammed a finger diving back into the first base bag as he's trying to shake it off. 2-1 now, the count to Wehoff. Still trying to get that jammed finger back to good. He really must have jammed it hard. Still shaking it off just beyond the first base bag down the right field line. Now I think he's at least relatively ready to go. Still trying to shake it off. I hate when you jam a finger. Done it in basketball 100 times. Well, maybe not 100 times, but 10 times. And every time it's hurt. Not enough for me to stop playing, but you know how it is. Next pitch is outside as the count goes to 3-1. Outfield playing him straight away, and for a good reason, Jay Sean Lewis at the base of the bank. Be careful, Austin. The 3-1 to the plate is on the outside corner as the count goes full at 3-2. Big pitch upcoming for both teams here to Wehoff on this payoff pitch with a runner on first and 1 out here in the top of the 6th of a 1-1 tie. Here goes the runner. The pitch is up high for ball 4. So after not walking anyone up until this inning, Nichols has now walked 2 of the last 3 batters he's faced. And that puts the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Now batting, number 8, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore singled in a second. He's also been a strikeout victim. We'll have a courtesy runner at first base, and that is Mason Hamilton. So Mason Hamilton running for Wehoff at first. Nick Brown running for Leo Brown at second, with Moore at the plate.
Now running for the Eagles, number 24, Mason Hamilton.
Moore does have 3 RBIs this year. And with the game getting into the later innings, you may see Nick Brown trying to score from second on anything hit to the outfield. First pitch is outside and low for ball 1. Well, the Bat Cats lost yesterday and lost big to LSU, 15-2 up in Lexington. Those two teams meet again today. Here's a tip foul into the glove of Harrington. Count goes 1-1. Bat Cats now 19-8 on the year, 5-5 in conference play, while LSU is 19-11. Their conference record now 2-8. The 1-1 is slapped foul and that'll play to the right side and down to Shirley Field as the count goes to 1-2. So we mentioned the Phillies today up in Maysville, playing Mason County as we speak. At 1 they'll play Ryle, and then at 4 Great Crossing. Phillies on the season now 5-2. Here's a pop foul out of play to the right side again as Moore stays alive in this plate appearance. Moore, a senior, steps back in there trying to get a base hit to score that runner from second. And the 1-2 once again is just a bit outside, evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's getting dark enough to where we're just about needing the lights. Gunnar Cole playing the batter to go the opposite way. The break-even pitch is a bouncer to second. Harris bobbles it and will throw to first base, but not in time. So the error loads the bases with Eagles with still just 1 out in the inning. Just didn't look the ball into his glove.
Joel Terry.
First error of the ball game committed by either team will bring Joel Terry to the plate. Terry popped out to first in foul territory his first time up. He's also had a fly ball out to right. Now the go-ahead run here in the top of the 6th, just 90 feet away. Infield draws in as the first pitch is taken up high for a ball. Actually, the middle infielders about halfway, hoping for a double play grounder. I think that's what Elijah was thinking about, was trying for the double play and just didn't look the ball into his glove. Next pitch is up high again, no place to put him. 2-0 the count to Terry. Still just 1 out in the inning. A walk by Leo Brown, then the fly ball out to right by Ninos. A walk to Wehoff, and then the error. They've gotten the bases loaded without the benefit of a hit. Swing and a miss at the next delivery by Terry. Runs the count to 2-1. Terry also a senior. 5 sophomores on the roster for Scott. Everybody else is juniors and seniors. Now Harrington will go to the mound to have a chat with his battery mate before we get back to play. Once again, the Breds will be back in action on Monday as we'll host Robertson County at 5:15. On Tuesday, Fleming County comes to town. That's also a 5:15 start. On Thursday, we'll head to Carlisle for a district game against Nicholas County. It's a 5:15 starting time. Then on Friday, we'll head to Winchestershire to take on Clark County. The Cardinals and the Breds met in the first game of the season, with Harrison winning here on the Hilltop 5-3. Clark County is a brand spanking new baseball field. Be anxious to see it. A week from today, we'll head to Frankfort to take on the Flyers of Franklin County. That's an 11 o'clock in the morning start. So a busy week for the Breds. Meeting on the mound is over. The next pitch to Terry is outside as the count goes to 3-1. Nichols trying to preserve the 1-1 time, but he'll have to come in with a strike here to Terry. Takes a look at the runners, and the 3-1 is up high, ball 4. Bases loaded walk brings home Nick Brown from third, and the Eagles have their first lead of the ball game at 2-1, and the bases are still loaded for Grant Profit. Profit 0 for 2, a strikeout. He's also grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice. Profit wiggles the bat over his right shoulder. As Nichols' first delivery is down low for a ball. Looks down to his third base coach before stepping back in the box. Over at first base, Corey Vaughn on the infield grass as the next pitch is smacked foul to the left side, had everybody ducking out of the way. This count evens up at 1-1. Middle infielder's back. Over at third, Brian Vaughn even with the bag. So Vaughn on first base defensively and Vaughn on third base defensively. Next pitch is cued off the end of the bat, foul by Profit. As he's now behind in the count 1-2. A strikeout would be awesome here, Austin. Over at third base is Mason Hamilton running for Wehoff. Moore at second, Terry at first. And the pitch is swung through and missed for strike three. There's another Killian's Pizza strikeout delivered by Austin Nichols. A very timely strikeout. So 2 outs now in the inning. Bases still loaded for Troy Grubb, who's a 2-time strikeout victim. Nope, we have a pinch hitter. My bad. Landon Kaiser. So Landon Kaiser batting for Troy Grubb.
Pinch hitting number 23, Landon Kaiser.
So pencil him in here in the 6th. See, Kaiser's numbers this year. Where are you, Landon? Landon Kaiser making his first plate appearance of the season with the bases loaded to 2 outs. First pitch is taken on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Kaiser, a sophomore. Gosh, a lot of pressure. First at bat of the season. You come in with your team leading 2-1. The bases loaded and 2 outs. Wiggles the bat around as Nichols throws to first, and they will tag out the runner, Joel Terry, who had wandered too far away from the bag. Daylight play as Corey Vaughn comes in behind him to pick him off for out number 3. However, a run does come across the plate on the bases loaded walk to Terry. There were no base hits, 1 error, and 2 men left aboard. So as we head now to the bottom of the 6th, your score, Scott High School 2 and Harrison County 1. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. All right, as we get back to play here on the Hilltop, the Breds find themselves down as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Austin Nichols.
Austin Nichols, Jay Sean Lewis, and Braxton Grubb scheduled to come up against Casey Hilbert, the pitcher for Scott, who began the game and has rocked right along. Has pitched himself in and out of some trouble, and right now holds a 2-1 lead. Nichols, 1 for 2. Popped out to short to end the first inning. He's also had a single that coming back in the 4th. Here's a chopper to the left side. Gloved by the shortstop, and his throw to first is going to bounce up there to Ninos. That was going to be a tough play. We'll give Nichols a single. So an infield single by Nichols. Brings up Jay Sean Lewis. Oh, nope, we're going to have a pinch hitter. So coming on to bat for Jay Sean
Number 36, Mason Smiley.
will be Nathan Smiley. pencil Nathan in here with a runner on first and nobody out. Mason Smiley steps in. We'll look at his numbers here in a minute. He's 1 for 10 this season, but smacks one to left field. Going back to left fielder Grubb at the fence. It's going to be off the base of the fence. Rounding third, but now holding up at second base is Nichols. A good pop that time by Mason Smiley. Wow. If he'd gotten it about 5 more feet up, he would have had a home run, but that ball hit off the base of the fence.
Number 9, Braxton Grubb.
Braxton Grubb to the plate now. His team trailing 2-1, but runners on first and second and nobody out. Grubb singled back in the second, stole second in that same inning. He's also had a fly ball out to center field. Braxton standing in there. Squares to bunt, but bunts it against the press box for strike one. Grubb DHing today for the third baseman, Brian Vaughn. Down at second base, Nichols with pretty good speed. A batted ball into the outfield. As deep as Scott is playing especially, could bring home the tying run. Now coach will come about halfway down the third base line to give some words of wisdom to Braxton. For Grubb will step back in there. Grubb takes a practice swing or two before stepping back in the batter's box. As Nichols takes his lead from second, he led off the inning with an infield single, followed by the long base hit by Smiley. Now a pitch gets away from the catcher, Brown, but not far enough away for Nichols to advance. However, the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Come on, Brads. Rain is nearing us, according to the weather map. A look back at second by Hilbert. Now here's a pop fly into left field at the fence, and it's going to be gone. Home run by Braxton Grubb, and Harrison County has gone from a 2-1 deficit to a 4-2 lead. Now, I'm not for certain if the wind had any effect on that fly ball, but it's a good thing it was blowing out towards the place that Braxton Grubb hit it for his first home run of the season. The second home run by Harrison County as a team. So back-to-back base hits put Harrison County in front 4-2. Kevin Goins at the mound talking to Hilbert, as well as the catcher Leo Brown, to see why it was that he got that pitch up in the strike zone to Grubb. All right. That home run just barely clearing the left center field fence. But 3 runs driven in. And now Braxton on the year with, find in here, 5 RBIs. Lucas Harrington back to the plate now. Harrington came on to bat the last time this position in the order came up and was hit by a pitch on the first pitch thrown to him by Hilbert. This time, though, he's going to chop one to the right side, but it's going to roll foul in front of the Harrison County dugout for strike 1. A 3-run homer by Braxton Grubb has put Harrison County ahead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Still nobody out in the inning. An infield single by Nichols, followed by a long base hit by Mason Smiley that hit off the base of the fence. Here's a bouncer back up the middle as Harrison County really starting to time Hilbert now. Solid lick that time by Harrington. So 4 consecutive batters have gotten base hits for the Thoroughbreds here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go back to the top of the order now, and Gunnar Cole. Cole is 1 for 3. Bounced back to the mound in the first. Had a ground ball out to second in the second inning. Then picked up an infield single in the 4th. Hilbert's first delivery to him is going to be bunted at, but missed. for strike one. Reds enjoying a 2-run lead. In case you're wondering, in the top of the 7th, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 batters for Scott. Here goes the runner. The throw down to second base will not be in time. So a stolen base picked up by Titan Maston. Puts a runner in scoring position again. Maston doing a very good job running the base paths this season as a courtesy runner. Count 0-2 on Cole, however. A base hit to the outfield could possibly and probably score Maston. He's got good speed as the next pitch is outside for a ball. 1-2 the count now to the Bread center fielder. Wind still blowing loftily out towards left. And the 1-2 spins him out of the way of it as it was way inside, but it leaving up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Perez getting some timely hitting for the first time in 3 games. Didn't get much of it against Henderson County on Monday or Dixie last night. Here's a chopper foul at the plate. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count remains 2-2 on Cole, who wheels the bat around. Hilbert takes a look at second at Maston, and the pitch is going to be a bouncer back up the middle for a base hit. Maston being waved home. The throw from the center fielder, Profit, is going to be too high. And on the throw to the plate, on down to second base will Hustle Cole, as the Brads, with their 4th run in the inning, have now taken a 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Maston never stopped on his way home. For Gunner, that is his 4th RBI of the season. All right. A single back up the middle. Then went to second base on the throw. Now, not sure what's going on. Coach asking about something going on in the dugout. Searching for a pinch hitter, maybe? I don't know. Don't know. Titan Maston scoring the 5th run. Now coming in for Harrison County will be Benton Bramble.
Now pinch hitting number 22, Benton Bramble.
Batting in McElvain's spot. So we'll put Benton in here. We talked about that home run by Grubb being the 2nd of the year by the team. Bramble has the other one. First pitch is a check swing foul for strike 1. Bramble's home run coming in the Bracken County game last week. Yeah, last week. Left-handed batter is Bramble, senior, one of the 4 seniors on this year's team, along with Vince Ferguson, Connor Kilpel, and Austin Nichols. Down at second base, Cole takes his lead as the next pitch is on the inside part of the plate. Nope, too far inside, excuse me. Evens up the count at 1-1. 4-run 6th inning for the Brads have given them this 5-2 lead. Next pitch is going to be popped up into left field. Troy Grubb near the base of the bank has it for out number 1. So even our outs are long outs here in this inning. They'll bring Elijah Harris back to the plate. Elijah had an infield single in the first. Has since grounded out twice, one of the times to first, the other time to second. Cole stays on second base. Number 5 wheels the bat around as the pitch is going to be on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Cameron White on deck, awaiting his chance to bat here in the 6th inning, barring a double play. It'd have to be a strange one. This next pitch is going to stay high, evening up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Freshman Elijah Harris taps the plate with his bat. And the 1-1 from Hilbert is going to stay down low. 2-1 the count now. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 88th pitch thrown by Hilbert. Here goes the runner. The pitch is going to be fouled off to the right side and will sail out of play. So Cole will have to retreat back to second as the count goes to 2-2 on Harris. Now coach going out on the field to say something to Gunner. Now that conversation's over, and coach will go back to the third base coaching box, and Cole will go back to the second base bag. Must have missed a sign or something. Harris stands in with a 2-2 count on him. The look back at second by Hilbert. Here goes the runner again. This foul ball is just to the home plate side of the Breads dugout. Caused some scattering, as Cameron White especially had to get out of the way quickly of that hot shot to that side. Austin Nichols also bailing out. Count remains 2-2 on Harris. Harris on the year 0 for 1 with an RBI with runners in scoring position. The break even once again has popped up foul and out of play again, so a good battle by Elijah. Battling Gilbert, who now has thrown 90 pitches in the ball game. See if he can find one he can put into the gap somewhere. Now a fake throw back to second. Chasing Cole back to the bag. 5-2, Harrison County up by 3. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A 4-run 6th for the Breads after scoring a single run back in the first. Here's a chopper past the mound and gloved by the shortstop Rout. He will not have a play. Coming home is Cole, beats the throw on down to second base, and sliding in safely is Elijah Harris as the Breads have gone up 6-2 with their 5th run of this 6th inning. Good piece of running that time by Cole. Never stopped on that ground ball that was gobbled up in behind the second base bag by the shortstop Rout. But by the time he was able to stand up and make the throw home, it was too late. And Elijah Harris very alertly went on down to second. All right. Cameron White at the plate now. First pitch is inside and high for ball 1. Down at second, Harris, who's got good speed, takes his lead. The next pitch is high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes now the count to White. Still just 1 out in the inning. And Cameron, the 8th man to come to the plate. Next pitch is fouled off and out of play to the right side. Runs the count to 2-1. Good to see the bats coming alive here for the Thoroughbreds after they've been fairly silent over the last 2 games in the losses to Henderson County and Dixie. Next pitch is swung through and missed. This count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 runs in the inning come courtesy of 6 base hits. The big one, the 3-run homer by Braxton Grubb. Next pitch is just a bit outside as the count goes full at 3-2. Cameron choking up on the bad handle a couple of inches. Give him a little more back control on this upcoming 3-2 pitch. The check of the runner at second. And the payoff is going to be sliced foul down the right side. And Coach Eddie Feeback hopping out of the way of it. So the 2-strike foul ball keeps White alive in this plate appearance. Weather map showing the rain should be right on top of us. Payoff pitch once again is slapped into right field, but there to grab it will be the right fielder Moore. He'll throw on back to second base to double up Harris, who had taken off a little bit too soon for out number 3. However, 5 runs come across the plate in the inning. It came by way of 6 base hits. There were no errors. And as it ends up, nobody was left aboard. So as we head now to the top of the 7th, your score, Harrison County 6 and Scott High School 2. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. All right, as we head to the top of the 7th inning, a 5-run 6th inning by the Thoroughbreds have given them a 6-2 lead. There'll be 8, 9, and 1 coming up in the Scott order. Troy Grubb, Blaze Hewitt, and Caden Rout against Austin Nichols, who will begin his 7th inning of work. He's thrown 101 pitches so far, but still seemed pretty strong last inning. Coming to the plate, Troy Grubb, who is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Standing in there to bat against Nichols. First pitch is going to be outside and high for ball 1. Austin only pitched 3 2/3 innings his first start. And threw only 57 pitches in that particular ball game, but is up to 103 now with that ball number 2. But he does have a 4-run cushion to work with. The wind by Nichols, and the 2-0 to the plate is way high and outside. Come on, Austin. This is the 8th place hitter in the batting order. 3-0 the count to number 13, Troy Grubb, the left fielder. Do not let them get free base runners. Watch for Grubb to be taken all the way on this one. The 3-0 is up high, ball 4. That's the 4th walk in the last inning plus given up by Nichols.
Now pinch hitting, number 15, Dylan Manhart.
At the plate now, a pinch hitter for the Eagles, Dylan Manhart. Now Coach Whitaker going to the mound. So we'll pencil Dylan Manhart in here. Manhart in 7th. All right. Conversation, a short one on the mound. Let's see, Meinhardt has not batted this year. So here in a pinch hitting performance, we'll try to get something going. Manhart, a junior. Over at first base, Grubb being held on by Corey Vaughn. First pitch to Manhart is taken for a strike. 0-1 the count to him. Blaze Hewitt, for whom Manhart is batting, was 0 for 2 with a fly ball out to right and a grounder to third. Pretty good size lead at first base for Grubb, considering his team is down by 4 as the next pitch is fouled straight back into the general vicinity of my car, but I didn't hear any glass, so I think we're okay. This count goes even at 1-1. Nichols takes a glance over to first base at Grubb, and the next pitch bounces up there. Harrington throws it down to second, but it will not be in time. So a wild pitch puts a runner in scoring position for Scott as the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on the batter, Dylan Manhart. Nichols rubbing up the ball as the home plate umpire wipes off the plate area. And now Manhart will step back in there. Outfield playing him pretty much straight away. Choking up on the bat handling inch, though, is Manhart with this 1-2 pitch up coming to him. And it's going to be way outside. This count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Nichols bound and determined to make this an adventure here in the 7th. His team leading 6-2, however, courtesy of that 5-run 6th inning after the Eagles had scored a run in the top half of the frame to take a 2-1 lead. Next pitch is slapped foul, and that'll play to the right side. So count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Never believe a weather map, because according to the weather map, that rain should be right on top of us, but it's not. Down at second base, Grubb takes his lead. The break-even pitch is fouled off and out of play down the right side. So a couple of 2-strike foul balls by Manhart have kept him alive in this plate appearance. Thoroughbreds trying for their 5th win of the season against 2 losses. Scott trying to avoid starting out the season 2-7. Here's a shot into right field for a base hit. Waiting at third base will be Grubb, so they don't want to take any chances down by 4. But runners on the corners for Scott, and now we go back to the top of the order.
Now batting, number 16, Caden Rout.
Caden Rout 0 for 3. Strikeout, a fly ball to center, and also a ground ball out to shortstop. Can't tell, but it doesn't look like anybody in the Braves bullpen. Nope, don't see anybody. Nichols peers in to get the sign from Harrington. Takes a look over at first base where Corey Vaughn is holding Hewitt on. Now time called by Harrington, who will go to the mound and make sure that he and Nichols are both on the same page. Appears that they are. Wind still blowing out towards left as it has pretty much all game long, but not very hard. Good bunch of fans here for today's ball game. Pitch is a bouncer in the hole between short and third. Coming home to score will be Grubb, and Scott has narrowed the gap to 6-3. Solid single through the left side by Rout. Leo Brown comes to the plate now. And that will be all for Austin Nichols. So Connor Kilpala will take his warm-up tosses, and while he does so, your situation is this. We are in the top half of the 7th inning. Harrison County leads by a score of 6-3. However, Scott has runners on first and second and nobody out. You're listening to Reds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, the new pitcher in the ball game for Harrison County is Connor Kilpala. Kilpala making his 3rd appearance, his 2nd in relief. He pitched back on Monday against Henderson County. Overall this season, Connor has thrown 5 in the 3rd innings, given up 6 hits and a couple of walks while striking out 9. He's given up 4 runs, all of which have been earned, has a record of 1-0 and an ERA of 5.25. Other changes, Mason Smiley is taking over at third base defensively, while Austin Nichols is out and left, and Bodie Muth will be behind the plate. Leo Brown at the plate for Scott with runners on first and second and nobody out. Has had a fly ball out to center, a liner to end the 3rd. He's also walked and scored a run. In fact, scored the go-ahead run back in the 6th inning when he made it 2-1. First pitch bounces up there and gets away from Booth. So on the wild pitch down to third base will go Blaze Hewitt, or Dylan Manhart, Dylan Manhart. So runners on the corners now. That'll force Corey Vaughn to come out of his natural position to hold the runner route on at first. 1-0 the count to Leo Brown. Brown levels the bat as Kilpula takes a look over at first base. And the 1-0 is fouled off and out of play over atop the Scott dugout on the third base side to even up the count at 1-1. The batter, Leo Brown, represents the potential tying run. Kilpula takes a big breath after getting the sign from Muth. And the pitch to the plate is going to be a fly ball into center field. Can of corn for Gunnar Cole, who's under it and has it. Tagging at third, but not coming on in, will be Manhart. But there now is one out in the inning. That'll bring Dylan Ninos to the plate. Ninos, the third place batter in the order. He had a long double to right center field his second time up, in between a ground out to second and a fly ball out to right field. Left-hander stands in there. Vaughn will not be holding the runner on at first. Kilpula checks over there anyway. And the pitch is going to stay up high for ball one. High drama here at the Hilltop baseball field with the Braves trying to secure the win, but Scott doing their level best to make that not happen. The 1-0 to the plate is down low, ball two. 2-0 the count to Ninos. Logan Wehoff is on deck. He's already homered in the game. They're coming way back in the second inning. Kilpula goes into the stretch. And the 2-0 to the plate is up high and outside, ball three. Well, the last thing we want to do is put the potential tying run on base, so got to come back with a strike here. Come on, Connor. Look for Ninos to be taking all the way on this pitch. His team down by 3 and 1 out in the inning. Number 20 wheels the bat around. And the 3-0 is going to be right across the middle, and as we suspected, Ninos was watching it all the way. Runs the count to 3-1. Outfield wheeled around for the batter to pull the ball. A lot of room down the left field line if he goes the opposite way. Check of the runners by Kilpula. And the pitch is on the inside corner for strike two. Nice piece of pitching that time by Connor. That'll load up the count at 3-2. Big pitch here, especially for Scott. They're the team that trails 6-3 after Harrison scored 5 runs in the bottom of the last half inning. The payoff pitch to the plate is hit foul and out of play to the right side. A high foul ball. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Number 20 wheels the bat around. Ninos is a senior. And the 3-2 once again is popped up foul and out of play to the left side. So a couple of 2-strike foul balls in this battle between Dylan Ninos and Harrison County's Connor Kilpula. Brett's trying to get this game over with and put a notch in the victory column. Kilpula checks out the runners at first and third. And the payoff once again is fouled straight back. So he fouled one off to the right, fouled one off to the left, fouled one straight back. All with 2 strikes. This will be the 9th pitch of this plate appearance for Ninos. The first baseman wheels the bat around, does the left-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Kilpula. And the 3-2 for a 4th time is swung on and tipped foul. Right at the plate, just popped out of the mid of Muth. So yet another foul ball on 2 strikes. Well, he done foul one off to the right, One to the left, one straight back. So this time, naturally, it was straight up and down. Kilpla takes a look over at first. And the payoff again is up high, ball 4. So you talk about a quality at-bat that time by Dylan Ninos. Fouling off 4 two-strike pitches, and now the bases are loaded with Eagles. For Logan Wehoff, who's been on base all 3 times. Had a solo homer leading off the second, singled in the 4th, and walked last inning. Corner infielders will move in, middle infielders will stay back. Potential tying run on first base for Scott, the potential go-ahead run now at the plate. And a guy that we know can hit one over the fence. Kilpla's pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. A run already in the inning on the RBI single by Caden Rout that brought home Troy Grubb. Brez just trying to hang on. The 0-1 is tipped foul. 0-2 the count now to Wehoff, the cleanup batter and designated hitter, batting for the pitcher's position, which is now being occupied, well, still being occupied by Casey Hilbert. Kilpla looks long in for the sign from Muth. As Wehoff awaits the 0-2, here it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Another Killian's Pizza strikeout delivered by Connor Kilpla for the second out of the inning. So it's all up to Michael Moore.
Now batting number 8, Michael Moore.
Moore's been on a couple of times today. Singled in the second, reached on air last inning. He's also been a strikeout victim. Kilpla in there trying to pick up the save, facing his 4th batter. Runners take their leads at 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. The most important one, Ninos at 1st. He would be the tying run. Kilpla's first delivery, drops in there for a strike. Nice pitch. Moore can't believe it, but he must. As he'll step back into the batter's box. Moore on the year has 3 RBIs. Yep. And the 0-1 is hit into right field. Underneath of it is going to drop in there in front of White. 2-run score. And just like that, the Eagles are back within 1 at 6-5. I thought that White was going to have a play on it, but the ball, I guess, was just dropping so fast that Cameron couldn't catch up with it. So the 2-run single by Scott's Michael Moore puts the potential tying run over at 3rd base now for Joel Terry. Ninos representing that possible tying run. Terry 0 for 2 with a walk that drove in a run. Walked with the bases loaded last inning. 6-5, Harrison County up by 1. First pitch to Terry is down low and outside for a ball. Yeah, the last thing we need for the ball to get away from Booth. Terry, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Harrison County had taken a 6-2 lead with 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th, but 3 runs here in this inning brought Scott back to within 1 at 6-5. The 1-0 pitch to Terry is going to bounce up there again. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Moore hustles back, or make that Ninos hustles back to 3rd. Moore still being held on at first base by Corey Vaughn, which opens up a big gap on the right side. Harrison County's outfield is playing shallow. Try to cut off a run at the plate. Should it come at them pretty quickly. Kilpla takes a look at the runners on the corners. And the 2-0 is going to drop in there for a strike on the inside part of the plate. 2-1 now the count to the second baseman for the Eagles. Exciting action here on the hilltop in the Harris Memorial Hospital Invitational. From the stretch, Kilpla takes a long look at 3rd. Glances at 1st, and the 2-1 to the plate is going to be a bouncer to short. Room service hop for McElvain. He'll step on the bag, And there's your ball game. The Breds win by a final score of 6-5 as Connor Kelpla comes in, and although it wasn't great, was able to wrap up the victory. Harrison County now 5-2 on the season, while the Eagles of Scott dropped to 2-7. Good win. Good win by our guys. We'll invite you now to stay tuned for our post-game show brought to you by Dustin Rose out at Farm Bureau. We'll go over all the numbers for you. We'll also have a chat with a member of the Harrison County coaching staff, as well as name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. All that coming up after this timeout. But once again, your final score, Harrison County 6 and Scott High School 5. You've been listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, the Harrison County Thoroughbreds survive a scare in the last inning, but are able to prevail 6-5 over the Scott Eagles. A game that was a pitcher's duel for about the first 6 innings, but then we got to the 7th, and all of a sudden the offenses came alive. Harrison County winning for the 5th time against just 2 losses, while Scott drops on the season now to 2-7. Harrison County got things started back in the bottom of the first inning after the leadoff batter was retired. Cliffy McIlvain singled, and then Elijah Harris came on with an infield single of his own to put runners on first and second. Cameron White then singled up the middle to put runners on every base. Corey Vaughn then lifted a sacrifice fly into right field. McIlvain came in to score to make it 1-0. But in the very next game, or next inning, Logan Wehoff got a solo home run to tie things up at 1-1. That's the way the score would remain until the top half of the 6th inning. Leo Brown has.
We're going to play Sarah right now.
Oh, we're going to play Sarah right now. Okay. So we'll wrap this up really quick. The Breds scored, or Scott scored. Well, I take it back. Got my train of thought all gone. Leo Brown scored to make it 2-1 going into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Harrison County came up with 5 runs. A 3-run homer by Grubb was the big hit in that 6-run inning, and then they survived as 3 runs came across the plate in the bottom half, or top half of the 7th inning for Scott. But Connor Kilplo was able to come in and retire Joel Terry on the fielder's choice for the win. Well, we'll take it back to the station for a little bit to make sure we get our numbers together and our rosters together, as I think I threw them away. But in any case, Harrison County's playing Sayre in just a few minutes as soon as they get the field ready and Sayre's ready to go. So we'll hopefully get the Sayre game in. So until that time, your final score in game number 1, Harrison County 6 and Scott High School 5. You've been listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports.